What is happening today, traders? This is Trap Trades, and we're going to be getting into two particular stocks today that I know everyone loves, particularly retail, and that is going to be AMC and GME. We're going to be going over a little bit of the macro and the micro picture for these stocks. So let's get into it, right? And we're going to start with AMC here. So we're on the weekly. Let's jump into a little bit shorter of a time frame. I want to get to the 4 hour. And so for AMC, you are getting a little bit of this choppy price action here, but you are heading outside of the falling wedge. So you had knife, bum, 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 boom. And so now you are out of the wedge. You actually retested it and you're trading flat on top of it. That is a bullish sign, guys. So you are still above this uptrend. That's what you want to stay above. And you do have this technical indicator here, a gap fill right around 345. So AMC, that is the micro picture. And then the macro, I know we talked about it last time, but I just want to reiterate here how crazy bullish that is. And that is, boom, 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 boom. Get rid of the MACD. That is the Bollinger Bands, guys. Let us look. This is the tightest Bollinger Bands you've had since, I believe, 2020. Yeah, since 2019-ish. So that's the tightest Bollinger Bands you've had in about 4 to 5 to 6 years. Last time they got close to as high was back in 2023 when you had that disgusting knife. And you could see it was just starting to close up. So we are primed for something very interesting here. And I'm really honestly more so curious to see, now that we're above this holy grail trend line here, that was the inception back in June of 2021. We all know what happened there. You had a crazy short squeeze. And now you are quite literally just going to sit and wait. And you have to see which way it breaks. It could break, boom. It could shoot to the upside. It could squeeze, right? Or it could break down and maybe some terrible news comes out. But I happen to be on the other side of that. I happen to think that it's going to be a bullish catalyst that comes in for AMC to then look towards these gap fills at, $12, $19, and $43. That would be insane. And so that's what we're gearing for. Before we jump to GameStop, I did want to go over the AMC short interest data because no one really talks about it anymore, but it is still valid. Currently, the short interest is sitting around 15%, which is pretty nasty. I mean, usually 2020 to 2021, you would see it fluctuate between 15 to 20. So the fact that we are within that range is bullish for a short squeeze catalyst. And this is the AMC short interest over time. That's the dollar amount that you've seen. So you can see back here, June 15th, $5.02 billion of cash was being shorted against AMC, which is just absurd. But you saw this gradual ramp up since January, to June and May, where you had insane levels of short interest in dollar quantity. And what you like to see is you're actually seeing something kind of similar. And it's not to that extreme that you saw back in June, but you do see 133, 126, 114. So 114, I believe, was the low. Now you're at 140, 172, 167, 179, 229. And it starts to build from there. So what we need to see is AMC continue to raise higher. Some bullish catalysts come out. Bollinger Bands or the squeeze bands, right, start to continue to constrict on the monthly, which is insanely bullish. And then we could hopefully see that climb again. And then we need our buddy GameStop to also help out. But before we get to GameStop, I did want to go over the days to cover. So AMC days to cover, you could see at its lowest, which is a bullish thing. You want to see this low. was January 29th in 2021. That was the lowest you saw it, and then you did see it very, very low during the June squeeze. Comparable levels would be back in May of last year when you forced a lot of shorts out of their positions. What I don't like is it is currently at 6.3, but it is going down from the high of 7 there. So we are waiting to see if you can have the short interest dollar quantity, the amount, go up while the days to cover goes down. And hopefully AMC's price can make new highs to the upside on the local range. But let us jump in to GameStop. GME. Let's see. All right, so let's turn off the Bollinger Bands because it's not as prevalent here. Indicators, EMA. All right, so on the monthly, you have created a bearish engulfing candle, which is not a great look. However, what you do like to see is that you are still above the 50-day moving average. What you don't like to see is you are still within, I would call it your bear flag, right? Let's get on to the lower time frame. Let's get on to the daily. You are still within the bear flag, and you actually looks like you've broken down from the bear flag. So when we took the measured move last time, right? Let's do that measured move. Brings you down to about $17 or $18. Do I think it's going to get there? Probably not. I do think what's realistic is that you test. Whoa. This crazy trend line that was back from the 2020 squeeze, the 2024 squeeze, and then now I think if you test this trend line at $18, that would be a fantastic buy-in. Of course, not financial advice. Nothing I say or do here is. But I think that would be some stupid opportunity for a lot of people. So you're still within this pennant. We just have to wait and see what it does. The measured move from this would actually be beyond stupid. Like, let's just do that. The measured move, if you were to break out from this, is right around 115. And I know if I did it from the full macro move there, it would be 150, 160. So some really high upside targets for GameStop and some pretty high downside targets for GameStop. I don't believe it would go much lower than $18. I think as soon as you get to the teens, GameStop becomes a significant buy, in my opinion. In my greatest Jim Cramer, impersonation, buy, right? I think GameStop becomes huge opportunity in the teens. I personally would sell the car, sell the house, sell all my personal well-being to buy in the teens, because GameStop in the teens has only proved to be good news, right? You had GameStop in the teens at 19, immediately jumped out to 23, and the macro move of that was pretty substantial. I mean, you went up 73% in only 100 days. That's a great trade. If you took the teens back in, when was that, June? I mean, even that, you made 31% in 39 days, right? I mean, that's not a bad trade. That's pretty good. Back in the teens here, I don't have to tell you that that is not a little move. So if you were to shoot back to the teens here, you had some kind of breakdown, I would expect higher, in my opinion, not financial advice at all. Nothing I say or do is. I just like to take risk, have fun, touch grass. That's all I have for GME, guys. Let's see. Let's give you a little update on ticker. I did want to go over Bonk. I released a short on Bonk. Let's do it really fast. And bear with me because this chart is tweaking for no reason. Jump into a smaller time frame, 4 hour. All right. See that? See what I just did? Like glitching down. Very, very strange. But so Bonk, you're within this falling wedge pattern here. Oh, did it again. Fix your stuff, Weeble. Within this falling wedge pattern, and you are above the 50-day moving average. Bullish. You're still below the 200, but if you get the measured breakout move from this falling wedge, which if you guys didn't know, hold up, bottom to the top, make it drop, it would be like 4 zeros 20, right? That would get you above the 200, and then maybe you peel back to cool down the RSI and you retest a golden cross, potentially, right? And then you could build your momentum. And personally, I think this thing has a lot more juice in it. It flipped a lot of coins in this last bull run, and I think it's going to continue, right? I like Bonk, and I think it can at minimum get to 0.430, and that would make me a happy man. But that's all I have today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you who have subscribed and liked the content so far. I'm at seven subscribers, so that's not nothing. I really do appreciate everyone who subscribes. So if you like the content, guys, drop a like, drop a subscription. I would greatly appreciate it so I can continue the momentum and we can build a following. That's all I have for today. Go outside, touch grass, and peace.